So in today's video, I want to talk to you about climbing ropes and ultimately how to check a climbing rope is safe to use. So the first part of my day when I go climbing is I start with flaking the rope out. So I take it out of my bag and I flake it into a pile on the floor. And for me, this is quite an important check, especially working as an instructor, because I need to make sure that ropes are always up to standard and there's nothing's happened while I've been away from the crag. So maybe something's been spilt on it. Maybe I don't know, it's trapped in a car door or something. So I want to check every part of this rope to make sure that it's suitable for use. And all I'm going to do is just run that rope through my hands, and by flaking that rope out, I'm just checking for any irregularities. A rope should be uniform and it should be consistent all the way through the rope. So we're looking for a consistency. So when I curve the rope like that, I'm looking to make sure that it retains that same curve all the way around. I'm looking for any kinks, twists or bends in the rope. I'm also checking the sheath on the outside to make sure that there are no significant furry parts or any parts where I can see the white inner core of the rope. So as I start to feel that rope, I'm checking it all the time. Now, if I do find any part where the rope's maybe got an irregularity, I'm going to check that. I'm going to see what it's like. So I'm going to roll it over my hands to make sure that it is. I'm going to roll it around like that to make sure that it's uniform. I'm going to check to see what sort of damage has occurred to that core. This is some semi-static rope, and this rope was damaged over an edge on a rock face. And you can see there's a lot of fur around on the rope sheath, but also when you roll the rope over, you can see the rope does not retain its curve when it gets to the damaged sheath. So you can see there that it's definitely, you can almost pinch the rope together, whereas other sections of the rope, it's very hard to do that. So this is an obvious sign that this section of rope, obviously this is only a short section that's been kept, but this would mean that this part of the rope would need to be completely retired. And if it's at the start of the rope, you could consider just chopping the end off and obviously making sure the rest of the rope's fine. But if this was the middle of the rope, or this was, a significant part of the rope was like this, you'd definitely need to retire the rope from use. So keeping your rope clean is quite an important part of prolonging the life of a rope. So within the cores and within the sheath, grit and dirt will start to wear into that and start to work its way into the fibres. And that will cause excessive wear on a rope. It can really reduce the lifespan of a rope. And also, grit within these fibres has been known to wear out carabiners on belay plates and when you're rigging. So if you're using this for bottom rope climbing sessions, this can also cause equipment to wear out a lot quicker. So a lot of manufacturers, they will have their own recommendations on how to clean the rope. Some manufacturers recommend that you use a washing machine in a very, very low heat, but you need to make sure that there's no detergent and the washing machine is completely clear of that. Personally, I favour just putting it into a warm bathtub or a tub and letting it soak and then washing it with my hands to make sure all the grit comes out. And you'd be amazed how much sand and how much grit actually comes out of the rope even after minimal use. So now we know how to clean our rope, we now need to know how to store our rope and store it so it's kept safe. Now there's many elements that can affect the lifespan of a rope and also the safety of a rope. First of all, direct heat. So hot radiators, fires, anywhere where there's direct heat can really affect the lifespan and safety of a rope. So keeping it away from direct heat is really important. UV light. So yeah, okay, we take our ropes climbing with us outdoors, so they're going to be exposed to UV rays anyway, just as we are. But what we want to try and avoid is a rope being left for a prolonged period of time in the sunshine. So we don't want to be leaving it in the garden where it can be affected by the sunlight. Maybe in a room where sunlight comes through a window and the rope would be in direct sunlight quite often, and also windows might magnify that rays. So keeping it somewhere that's cool, dry and out of direct sunlight would be the most appropriate place to store a rope. Also, chemicals can damage the lifespan of a rope as well. So we want to make sure that wherever we're storing our rope, nothing can get in contact with our rope. So nothing should come into contact with it. We don't want chemicals, we don't want oils, we don't want petrols or diesels. And I've seen plenty of instances where people have stored ropes in garages, hung them up and things have got spilt on them or spilt near them. So we want to make sure that we don't get anything on these ropes, because the rope is critically, it's the most important link in the chain of everything that we've got. I mean, equally, everything's important in the link, but ropes often go unchecked, and often people will just assume that our rope is safe. Therefore, we need to make sure we're checking our equipment appropriately and as much as we can. So I hope you enjoyed today's video about rope care and how to store your rope. It's important to remember that a rope is quite an important and an integral part of safety when we're out climbing, and often is the most overlooked piece of equipment when it comes to safety checks or maintenance. So make sure you keep your rope clean, make sure you keep it out of the sunlight and away from chemicals, and stored in a cool and dry place. And yeah, if you've got any questions, drop me an email, matt@themountaineeringcompany.co.uk. Check out our Facebook page, The Mountaineering Company, and we're also on Instagram as well. Links are at the bottom of this page.